In the quiet corners of our hearts, have you ever wondered where solace truly resides? In a world that often rushes past, where do we find the gentle whispers of peace? In a small town named Willow Creek, nestled between rolling green hills and a meandering river, one young girl seeks comfort in the embrace of an ancient willow tree, a sentinel of stories and memories. As the sun dipped low in the sky, painting the horizon with strokes of orange and pink, the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming wildflowers. Lila, a thoughtful 10-year-old with deep brown eyes that sparkled with curiosity, wandered through the park, her fingers brushing against the soft blades of grass. Each step she took was deliberate, as if she were feeling the heartbeat of the earth beneath her feet. A gentle breeze danced around her, carrying the melodious sound of birdsong and the rustling of leaves, creating a serene symphony that wrapped around her like a warm embrace. Lila had always felt a deep connection to nature. The world of storytelling thrived in her imagination, where fairies danced among the flowers and rivers whispered secrets to the wind. Yet, in recent days, a sense of loneliness crept into her heart. Her friends had moved away, one by one, their laughter echoing in her memories but fading in reality. Now, in the quiet of the park, she often found herself longing for companionship, a desire that felt as vast as the sky above. At the edge of the park, the majestic willow tree stood, its long, graceful branches swaying gently in the wind. The tree, with its soft, drooping leaves that cascaded like a green waterfall, had watched over the town for generations, a silent witness to the joys and sorrows of those who sought refuge beneath its boughs. Lila approached it, her heart swelling with both comfort and a twinge of sadness. She often sought the willow's shade, believing it held stories of friendship, love, and the passage of time. The trunk was wide and gnarled, a testament to its age. Lila ran her small hand over its rough bark, feeling the grooves and knots, imagining all the moments it had shared with children who once played and laughed beneath its branches. She sighed softly as she settled down on the cool grass, leaning back against the sturdy trunk. The leaves whispered secrets to one another, a soft rustle that seemed to beckon her closer, inviting her into a world of her own thoughts. "Hello again, dear Willow," she whispered, her voice barely above the sound of the wind. "I wish you could speak to me. I wish you could tell me stories of all the friends you've seen." Just then, out of the corner of her eye, she spotted Mr. Thompson, the elderly caretaker of the park, shuffling his way towards the tree. His gray hair fluttered like wisps of cloud in the breeze, and his eyes twinkled with kindness. He had been the keeper of the willow's tales, often sharing stories with the children about its history and the bonds it had nurtured over the years. "Ah, Lila," he said with a warm smile, "I see you've come to visit your old friend." He gestured towards the willow, and Lila nodded, her heart feeling a little lighter at the sight of him. "Mr. Thompson, do you think the willow remembers me?" she asked, a hint of vulnerability in her voice. "Of course, my dear. The willow sees everything, and it holds your memories close," he replied, settling beside her. "It knows the laughter of children and the tears of goodbye. It understands loneliness, too." Lila's heart sank at his words, for she felt the weight of solitude pressing upon her. "I wish I had someone to share my stories with," she confessed, her voice trembling slightly. "It seems everyone is gone now." The gentle rustling of the leaves above seemed to echo her feelings, as if the tree itself understood her sorrow. Mr. Thompson placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Sometimes, dear Lila, loneliness can teach us more about ourselves. But remember, the world is full of stories waiting to be discovered, and new friends can be found in the most unexpected places." As the sun began its descent, casting a warm glow over Willow Creek, Lila looked up at the willow's branches, swaying softly in the golden light. She closed her eyes, allowing the sounds of nature to wash over her, the chirping birds, the gentle lapping of the river, and the soft whisper of the breeze. In that moment, she felt a flicker of hope amidst her loneliness, a realization that perhaps tomorrow might bring new stories and new friends. But for now, she was content to sit quietly under the watchful gaze of the willow tree, enveloped in its embrace, allowing her thoughts to flow like the river that meandered nearby. As dusk settled around Willow Creek, she felt the gentle touch of the night, a promise of dreams and the possibility of new beginnings. In the tranquility of Willow Creek, as the sun's last rays kissed the tops of the hills, Lila found herself nestled beneath the sprawling branches of the willow tree. The gentle rustle of its leaves sang a lullaby that wrapped around her like a soft blanket, and the sweet scent of blooming flowers mingled with the cool evening breeze. It was here, in this sacred space, that she felt a flicker of hope, a whisper of connection amidst her solitude. Mr. Thompson, the elderly caretaker of the park, often visited her there, sharing tales of the willow's long history. "This tree," he would say, his voice a soothing murmur, "has seen generations come and go, friendships forged and memories etched into its very roots." Lila listened intently, her heart swelling with the weight of those stories. Each narrative painted a picture in her mind of children laughing, sharing secrets, and finding solace under the watchful branches of the tree. Yet, beneath her fascination lay a subtle ache, a yearning that tugged at her heartstrings. Lila often thought about the friends who had moved away, leaving behind echoes of laughter that faded into silence. The fear of opening her heart to new friendships loomed large, like a shadow cast by the setting sun. What if she reached out only to be met with indifference? What if the loneliness she felt was a wall too high to climb? On one particularly warm afternoon, the golden light of the sun filtered through the leaves, creating a mosaic of warmth and shadows on the ground. Lila sat cross-legged at the base of the willow, her fingers tracing the rough bark as she pondered Mr. Thompson's stories. She imagined the laughter of children from long ago, their voices intertwining with the rustling leaves, creating a symphony of friendship that echoed through time. As she contemplated these memories, a group of children burst into her view, their joyous shouts ringing through the air like a sweet melody. They raced around the park, their carefree laughter dancing on the breeze. Lila felt a flutter of excitement and trepidation in her chest. In that moment, she could almost see herself joining them, sharing in their delight. But doubt crept in like a creeping vine. "Maybe they wouldn't want to play with me," she thought, her heart sinking. "What if they don't like stories? What if they think I'm too shy?" The fear of rejection loomed large, wrapping around her like a thick fog. She watched them from her spot beneath the willow, feeling both drawn to their happiness and anchored by her own uncertainty. Mr. Thompson, sensing her hesitation, settled beside her on the soft grass. "You know, Lila," he began gently, "the willow tree has stood here for so long because it has always welcomed everyone. It doesn't matter where someone comes from or what they bring. It simply offers its branches for shade and comfort." His wise eyes twinkled as he spoke, encouraging her to look beyond her fears. "Do you think I should talk to them?" Lila whispered, her voice barely above the rustle of the leaves. The children were now gathered around a picnic blanket, sharing snacks and giggles, blissfully unaware of the internal battle raging within her. "Every friendship begins with a simple hello," Mr. Thompson replied, his tone warm and reassuring. "The willow tree has seen many come under its branches, each one finding a sense of belonging. Perhaps today is your day to join in." Lila felt a flicker of possibility ignite within her. She closed her eyes, allowing the soothing sounds of nature to wash over her. Birds chirping, the soft breeze whispering through the leaves, and the distant laughter of the children. She took a deep breath, inhaling the sweet scent of blooming flowers and freshly cut grass, and opened her eyes again, gazing at the lively group. Yet, even as hope stirred within her, the weight of uncertainty remained. What if they didn't want her there? What if the laughter she craved was just out of reach? The thought weighed heavily on her heart, rendering her still. In that moment of hesitation, Leela remembered the stories Mr. Thompson had shared, the tales of friendships formed beneath the willow, the connections that blossomed like spring flowers even in the face of fear. She realized that the willow tree, with its sprawling branches and gentle presence, had witnessed countless children overcome their own fears of loneliness and reach out for companionship. "Maybe I can start with just a smile," she whispered to herself, the thought bringing a sense of calm. With renewed determination, she gathered her courage, her heart beating steadily against the stillness of the air. She stood up, brushing the blades of grass from her skirt, and took a tentative step towards the children. As she approached, the 4 children looked up. Their laughter softened, replaced by curious smiles. "Hey there!" one of them called out, a girl with bright red pigtails and freckles dancing across her nose. "Do you want to join us?" Lila's heart soared at the warmth in the girl's voice. I'd love to," she managed to say, her voice trembling slightly. The other children welcomed her with open arms, inviting her to sit on the blanket. They were eager to share their snacks and tales, their laughter mingling with the gentle breeze. As Lila settled in, a wave of warmth enveloped her, and the fear that had once gripped her heart began to dissipate. She felt the comforting presence of the willow tree, a silent guardian of their budding friendship. It stood tall and proud, its branches swaying gently, as if encouraging them to embrace the moment. "Have you ever heard the story of the willow tree?" Lila asked, her confidence growing as she shared the tales Mr. Thompson had entrusted to her. The children leaned in, captivated by her words, their eyes sparkling with curiosity. Together, they exchanged stories, their laughter weaving a tapestry of connection that filled the air with joy. The sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the park, and Lila felt a sense of belonging wash over her. The world around her faded away, leaving only the warmth of friendship and the soothing embrace of the willow tree. In that moment, Lila understood that the fear of loneliness could transform into the joy of companionship with just a single step forward. As the shadows stretched and the first stars twinkled in the sky, Lila realized that she had found what she had been searching for, a connection that transcended her fears and a place where she truly belonged. The willow tree stood tall, a witness to the laughter and stories shared beneath its branches, and Lila felt a sense of peace settle within her heart. In the soft glow of the evening, the gentle sounds of nature wrapped around them, creating a serene backdrop to their newfound friendship. The breeze whispered through the leaves, carrying with it the promise of many more stories to come. Now, dear listeners, as you close your eyes and let the soothing sounds of nature envelop you, take a moment to reflect on your own memories of friendship and connection. Think of the times you reached out, even when the path seemed uncertain, and consider the beauty that may await you just beyond your fears. If you find comfort in these stories and wish to journey deeper into the world of gentle nights and soft whispers, consider subscribing to our channel. Join us as we explore the serene landscapes of imagination and connection, letting each story guide you to a place of peace and tranquility. With that, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. As the last rays of sunlight dipped behind the distant hills, the twilight enveloped Willow Creek in a soft lavender hue. The gentle breeze rustled through the leaves of the ancient willow tree, creating a symphony of whispers that danced in the stillness of the park. Leela sat nestled against the gnarled roots of the tree, her heart heavy with a mix of longing and uncertainty. Today had been yet another day marked by loneliness, as the laughter of children echoed faintly in the distance, a reminder of the friendships she felt slipping away like sand through her fingers. The sounds of the world around her seemed to fade into a soft hum, and she found herself lost in thought. Mr. Thompson had told her stories of the willow's past, how it had witnessed countless seasons of joy and sorrow, of friendships blossoming and fading like the petals of the flowers that surrounded it. Leela often imagined the whispers of the tree, carrying the echoes of those who had found solace beneath its branches. Yet now it felt as if the stories were taunting her, reminding her of her solitude. Just as she closed her eyes, surrendering to the gentle rhythm of the evening, a burst of laughter broke through the tranquil air. Leela's heart skipped a beat. It was the group of children she had seen playing earlier, their voices bright and cheerful, weaving together like the threads of a colorful tapestry. They were gathered near the willow tree, their joy palpable, and for a moment Leela felt a flicker of hope. But as quickly as it came, the hope was overshadowed by a wave of anxiety. The memories of her past friendships, the laughter that echoed in her mind, seemed to remind her of the barriers that now separated her from joining them. "Why can't I just go over there?" she whispered to herself, her voice barely audible. The fear of rejection loomed large, wrapping around her heart like a vine, tightening its grip. The laughter grew louder, and Leela could hear snippets of their conversation, stories being shared, dreams being spun into the air like dandelion seeds. Her imagination painted vivid pictures of what it might be like to be part of that circle, to share in their joy. But the shadows of doubt crept in, suffocating the light of possibility. Then Mr. Thompson appeared, his kind eyes twinkling as he approached. "Leela," he said softly, "the willow has seen many children gather here. It knows the magic that happens when stories are shared." He gestured towards the group. "Perhaps it's time you let the tree weave a new tale for you." Leela looked up at him, uncertainty etched across her face. "What if they don't want me there? What if I don't belong?" Her voice trembled, and the weight of her fears pressed down on her like a heavy cloak. "Every story needs a new character," Mr. Thompson replied gently. "You won't know until you take that first step. The willow tree has always been a place of acceptance. It embraces all who seek its shade." His words struck a chord deep within her, resonating with the truth she longed to believe. The willow tree had been her companion, her confidant, and perhaps it could also be a bridge to new friendships. With a deep breath, Leela rose to her feet, her heart racing as she took a tentative step toward the laughter that beckoned her. The soft grass beneath her feet felt like a warm invitation, encouraging her onward. As she approached, the children turned to look at her, their smiles warm and inviting. "Hey, come join us," one of them called out, a girl with curly hair and bright blue eyes. Leela felt a rush of warmth spread through her, but the voice of doubt whispered once again, warning her to retreat. "What if they stop laughing when I'm there?" she thought, hesitation creeping back into her heart. But just then, the girl waved her over with enthusiasm. "We're sharing stories about our favorite adventures. You should tell us yours." Leela's breath caught in her throat. This was the moment she had both dreamed of and feared. The willow tree stood tall behind her, a silent guardian, urging her to embrace this chance. She stepped closer, her heart pounding like a drum, each beat resonating with hope and fear intertwined. With every step, the laughter wrapped around her like a comforting blanket, pushing back the shadows of her insecurities. I love to explore the woods," she said shyly, her voice barely above a whisper. "I found a hidden stream once, and I imagined it was a portal to another world." The children listened intently, their eyes sparkling with curiosity. "That sounds amazing! Did you see any fairies?" the curly-haired girl asked, her excitement contagious. Lila's heart swelled as she realized they were genuinely interested. "I thought I did. I saw these little flowers that looked like they were dancing in the breeze, and I imagined fairies hiding among them." The group erupted in laughter, and Lila felt her spirit lift. She began to share more, her words flowing like the gentle river nearby, weaving tales of her adventures and dreams. In return, the children shared their own stories of climbing the tallest trees, of secret hideouts, and of summer days spent chasing fireflies. The laughter grew louder, mingling with the rustling leaves of the willow tree, creating a melody of friendship that wrapped around them all. But just as Lila felt herself truly connecting, a sudden chill swept through the air. The laughter faltered momentarily, and in that quiet, she caught a glimpse of something deeper in the eyes of the children, a flicker of understanding, a shared acknowledgement of their own fears and insecurities. "I thought I was the only one who felt lonely," Lila confessed, her voice trembling slightly. "I was afraid of being left out." The curly-haired girl nodded, her expression softening. "I feel that way too sometimes, but when we share our stories, we realize we're not alone. We can be friends, even if we're different." In that moment, the weight of Lila's loneliness began to lift, replaced by an overwhelming sense of belonging. The willow tree stood proudly above them, its branches swaying gently, as if nodding in agreement. This was a place where fears could be laid bare, where stories could intertwine and create new bonds. As the sun dipped lower, casting golden hues across the park, Lila looked around at her new friends, their faces illuminated by the warm light. She realized the willow was more than just a tree. It was a witness to the connections being forged, a symbol of hope, growth, and the beauty of shared experiences. And then, as if the universe had conspired to bring them together, Lila learned something profound. The children had also felt the pangs of loneliness, the fear of rejection. They had each come to the willow tree seeking comfort, just as she had. The stories they shared became threads, weaving them into a tapestry of friendship that would carry them through the seasons of their lives. "Let's meet here again," Lila suggested, her heart full of excitement. "We can share more stories, and maybe even create new ones together." "Definitely!" the curly-haired girl exclaimed, her smile widening. "We can make this our secret place." As they promised to return, the sun finally dipped below the horizon, and a blanket of stars began to twinkle above them. The willow tree stood resolute, its branches swaying gently in the night breeze, cradling their laughter and dreams in its embrace. Lila felt a sense of peace wash over her, a soothing balm for her once tormented heart. In that moment, she understood that loneliness could transform into companionship when one dared to step into the light of connection. With the gentle rustle of leaves as their lullaby, the children parted ways, their hearts intertwined like the roots of the willow tree. As Lila made her way home, she felt a lightness in her step, a newfound joy that blossomed within her. The fear that had once held her captive began to fade, replaced by the warmth of friendship and the beauty of shared stories. The willow tree had not only witnessed her journey, but had become a symbol of hope, a reminder that solace could be found in the connections forged under its watchful branches. And so, as the stars twinkled above her, Lila whispered a silent promise to return, to continue weaving her story beneath the willow's embrace, where friendship flourished and memories danced like the leaves in the gentle breeze. Now let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over Willow Creek, Lila found herself sitting beneath the sprawling branches of the willow tree. The gentle rustle of the leaves above seemed to whisper secrets of the universe, wrapping her in a cocoon of tranquility. Here, in this sacred space, she felt a profound sense of belonging, unlike anything she had experienced before. The laughter of her new friends resonated in the air, mingling with the soft sounds of nature. Lila watched as the children played, their joy infectious, spreading warmth through her heart. It was as if the willow tree had not only witnessed her solitary moments, but had also nurtured this newfound connection, a bridge between her past and her future. With each passing day, Lila visited the willow tree, not just to seek comfort, but to share in the stories and laughter of her friends. Mr. Thompson often joined them, recounting tales of the tree's history, how it had been a witness to the laughter and tears of countless generations. Each story was a thread, weaving together the fabric of their community, and Lila felt herself becoming a part of this tapestry. One afternoon, while the sun filtered softly through the leaves, casting dappled shadows on the ground, Lila gathered her friends around for a story of her own. With a gentle smile, she shared how the willow tree had been her refuge, a place where she could dream and imagine. Her voice trembled slightly at first, but as she spoke, she gained confidence. The way her friends listened, their eyes wide with wonder, filled her with a sense of purpose. "I used to think I was alone," Leela began, her voice steadying, "but now I see that we all have stories to tell, and every story brings us closer together, just like the branches of this tree." Her friends nodded, and one by one they began to share their own tales, stories of adventures, dreams, and the magic of nature. The more they spoke, the deeper their bonds grew, and Leela realized that loneliness was something she could overcome. In the warmth of friendship, she found strength and a sense of belonging that filled her spirit with light. As the seasons changed, so did Leela. She blossomed into a confident girl who embraced her creativity and imagination. The willow tree stood tall and proud, a symbol of her journey, a reminder that even in moments of solitude, connections could blossom if one dared to open their heart. One evening, as the sun painted the sky with hues of lavender and gold, Leela climbed the small hill where the willow tree stood. She looked out over Willow Creek, feeling the gentle breeze play with her hair, carrying the scent of blooming flowers and freshly cut grass. In that moment, she understood that life was a series of moments, fleeting yet beautiful, and it was up to her to cherish each one. "Thank you," she whispered to the willow tree, her voice barely above a breath, "for being here all this time, for keeping my secrets and nurturing my dreams." In the stillness of twilight, she felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. The tree stood as a guardian, not only of her memories, but also of the connection she had forged. Leela now understood that friendship is not just about being together, it is about being there for one another, supporting and sharing in the journey of life. As the stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky, Leela gathered her friends once more beneath the willow tree. They held hands in a circle, their hearts beating in unison. Together they shared their hopes and dreams, creating a symphony of laughter and love that echoed through the night. "Let us promise to always be there for each other," Leela proposed, her voice filled with warmth. "Just like the willow tree has been here for us." With nods and smiles, they sealed their promise, a commitment to nurture their friendships just as the willow tree nurtured them. Leela felt a sense of peace envelop her, a gentle reminder that she was never truly alone. The connections she formed were like the roots of the willow, intertwining and growing stronger with time. As the night deepened, Leela and her friends nestled into the soft grass, watching as the moon cast a silvery glow over the world. The sounds of the night wrapped around them, a lullaby of crickets chirping and the distant hoot of an owl. Leela closed her eyes, feeling the gentle sway of the willow tree, as if it were rocking her into a serene slumber. In that moment of stillness, she thought of all the people who had come and gone in her life. She understood that each person brought a unique story, a lesson that shaped who she was becoming. Embracing the beauty of connection, she felt empowered to face whatever lay ahead. Now, dear listener, take a deep breath and let your mind wander to your own willow trees, those places and people that provide comfort and companionship. Reflect on the relationships that have nourished your spirit and the stories that bind you together. As you close your eyes and let the soft sounds of the night lull you, remember that you too are a part of a beautiful tapestry. Just as Leela discovered her strength and connection, so too can you find solace in the gentle embrace of friendship and nature. Now, let your thoughts drift away and let the night carry you to gentle dreams.